Tisi na wag Seigilkhomna bezausi ama sapinin chibai kahin bolobe kaimin ahile thin thang hokip tuni khwa tisi na wag Seigilkhomna in ki hopi dingo ges ahile ama sapina hi pu WR Housing Kuki People Alliance KPA General Secretary aman ama sapina tisi na wag te apartment lo tai pi jivina chunga ki pathu kahin sein abang le ani na hi pi Gladys Waipe Hunjan Kuki zo women social activist aman jang apartment lo ta tisi na wag te pi zalvin ama chunga jang ki pathu kahin sei kine Tuni khwai hung ki hodim na ding topic cho hi le Article 356 Dungjui Article 356 Indian Constitution Dungjui ya Manipur President rule hi kuki te dinga lo sam na hi dingham or a hi lo le lo hin na hi dingham ti topic mangcha amani to chomcha Seigilkhomna in nei diu hintin chi Seigilkhomna hi apan achai chan ani ve chai ke dingin ama sapinin team na ka hin nei ve ki pa ome na phat man ta hon ti sin wak te nei pi zalovin tua topic in sei ha bangwa cho phat ani panjing utin hi hung ki holim na dingo chi cho hi jengin tu le tua hi ga ve vina hi le gar ki patil hi 20 months hung thing ding hi tain chi 20 months masanga cho 20 months ahung thin masanga ini sub jing cho hi le president rule sawin itiu hin tua hi president rule ahung pha na hi e ho jang hin na sata boina muntina ito tawin igamu bangwa cho abang le i movement u jang hi i change ham ti ho zo si jang hi nang ni munchum choma hion jang le chun hoita nani follow up nani ball handing ka ta sangin chi ja hi chi topic mangcha hi e ho manipula ko ki chate chenna hi i change ya effect hung hi phadham ti hi tuni khwa hi nang ni to chomcha phat ni mandiu hin tin tu hin question ama sapinin ani chi jing utin chi hi open discussion hi in chief president rule hi pu WR Housing nangin president rule hi e hoa dinga phachom ham or e hoa dinga lo samna zo ham ti hi ama sapina chi question hin nan answer thei di ham
okay kibawme thank you president to anase chu hele president rule he demand bol ti chu this is not the official stand of the KPA stand chu hele imfala biren nalado lo chu we have nothing to do with them. We are out of Manipur, Kitya. You can put PR also, you can do anything, but we are out of Manipur. What we want is a separate administration here. KPA stands to. Now PR has been imposed in Manipur. What is the difference? Political demand there's no difference. We are still on separate administration. We still demand. I mean, it is just a stopgap arrangement. So it is up to us strategically to use the situation. So PR is not a Manipur government. It is a government from Delhi. Is the president's rule delegated to the governor? Governor rule him. Direct hint. So, PR against we cannot go against it because it is a Delhi government, and against you here we are against the Manipur government here. This is not a Manipur government. So, this is it's a fine line distinction in KPA standpoint. We are not in favor of PR. Or retaining Biren Singh or setting up a new government. That is nothing. You do whatever you want to do in Imphal, but we want a separate administration. This is our official standpoint. Standpoint let us go ahead with the other opinions.
Madam, nang opinion nan share take pai di ham to.
Yes, like Sir, WR Housing in Asay Bangato, President rule Anakisay Laya in the beginning of the violence, we were left with no option. The way the violence was rained upon us, in the beginning of 3rd May, there was not much choice to even put pressure to the government. The only reason why we used to say President rule was because that will put a immediate stop to the violence, because law and order was not there in Manipur those days. We saw even the state forces was used by the chief minister. In fact, the CM was directing the Manipur forces. So there was no other choice, no other means but except to ask the center government intervention to somehow put some kind of law enforcement. That was the reason why we used to say about president rule. And also the way the president rule is imposed upon us right now, they impose not because we are shouting or we are asking for that. Even the center government have no other choice because we saw it. Biren resignation was also like, it's just an event, there's nothing changed. It's just an event that even he himself was left with no choice. He couldn't form majority government, and also even the center also knows that Biren has so much of blood on his hands. And I wouldn't be surprised even in the coming days, if they replace him completely. I wouldn't be surprised because with his audio leak and everything. So Biren himself had no choice. And then putting all this together, this president rule can be used to our utmost advantage if our leader work together wholeheartedly, unitedly, and approach the center government directly, because anything the center was trying to do and trying to help us, even including humanitarian aid, it was, the state was in between that. Now we can approach center directly. Our link and our work together as center, has to be like Amy Hona, ikigel tema, center approach dan itema. We have to use this to our advantage. Like, for example, if we can take at least a connecting road from Kangpokpi to Churachandpur that we are self-built, if we can press the central government till another solution come up, at least please make this lifeline of our road better. So that kind of advantage, if we can negotiate with the central government, this president rule will be a good use for us. And also, like Sir rightly said, that this president rule is not going to give us any political advantage or anything as such. Our demands stand that we have to be totally separated from the Meitei administration. That is very, very clear. And also, this president rule doesn't mean that we should not demand AFSPA to be imposed in the valley. Again, our demand doesn't waver, no matter what the situation in Manipur. And then, Kitsat big ding le hilaway to president rule here. And then if you look at the central government standpoint, they also are left with no choice except to impose this. But then this is not permanent. This is just a transition where Biren resignation and then waiting for another government to form, just in between. There's at least a gap in between. At least something is there. Zika to til imuzo si hui asele malagzok lawa bangti dana jihi lam advantage dinga ibol thaiti kha ingay to ko mo hile iya dinga phatom mama ding so.
Madam Lai na say ka na standpoint chu kinjang ka hethi min na ke mudan hi tule to hi president rule huma hi mai leite jang benefit talo e ho jang na sata I hungan thei pan wa hi tai na to chu ga dinga men ro na bunker ma zo si jang ki phet tain chi ahung chi zoma hi le center government hin force peace pin hi anja ding ham ti hi ki chanum tai tai na chelaya force peace an zawwa le movement hi hung che zom thei talo ding force ana force peace ahung ding in akimutain to hi a chi zom pa ya le chi standpoint chelai ka chu nangin ipi lunggel na neyam tiang tham khat nan sei be ket hondiam.
See, that was what we say last time also. We are under the president of our country, and then also the governor is directly looking after us. So we have to watch the movement of the governor. He should not be working against a particular community and favoring the other. So even that movement as a nation is nampi khatihi nazala. So even government decision hozong hi pataka ietamo idoy lam decision ahung la kahile can always challenge. We're still under the Constitution of India. So it is your duty and my duty to watch carefully what the center is doing through the governor. So it's too early to say whether it is in favor or it is against us. And then bunker remover and all, for us, really, we can create bunker in no time. If we feel not safe, if our safety and security and if our life is in danger, we can always, work towards that. And when we work, we have to let the center government know that we're not safe. So safety, security, any new incident that happened that is attacking civilian, we have to highlight that. Again na satlai si i-highlight na satlai si center in a neglect kailaw di hintin. So it is again the duty of us, each and everyone, that how this president rule is treating us. We have to highlight that. Again, like I said, it's too early to say. We just have to watch for some time and see their movement.
To into do abanani che bekit itin salaya ka do num chu to hi iga ve vin hi le ho political demand jang hi achi zom lo tabongin ahungum tai na mi pi lunggel dana public opinion a chu iga ve vin hi le tu chunga ga seidinga chu rally hung ki cancel hi president rule a hi peaceful rally ho ke bol thei lo ham ipiti ham ti hi nangin government no ya kum tam ta hin tong sa na hin chalai ka hi tham khat explain nan bol thei diam
rally to chunga cancel chu. I am not privy to the discussions. But what social media the wording is for negotiated settlement. Promise what is a negotiated political settlement is very clear to us. See, it is a game in ball. I think the ball is in our hands now. We are at an advantage.
Yes.
Governor rule Oma. It is how we take it. Our governor, we should regard him as a governor in charge of two different administrations. One for the valley, one for the hills. And he's very proactive. You can see that he's opened his office in Imphal Secretariat. See, it is a signal that it is going to be a long haul, a long administration. He can, according to the constitution, he can go with president's rule for at least 6 months. And what we read today was that they can even go to parliament and extend this 6 months also. And the fact that he has opened up his office and paraphernalia of administration in Imphal Secretariat means he's going to be there for a long period.
Yes.
And we should demand now that you please open your branch administration in Churachandpur and in Kangbupi also.
Yes.
So that he should come and attend the office there at least once a week in Churachandpur, once a week in Kangbupi. So it will be a symbolic sign, symbolic signal that it is two separate administrations he is governing. It is not, he is governor of two administrations. The issue, it is moral victory. And secondly, advantage there's so many negative things about Birren government. He cancels everything about administration of building roads, bridges, or even opening offices, recruitment. Now we can take advantage of this and build our infrastructure separately from Imphal.
Exactly.
Administration separately. I don't feel that bunker kelado. It is nothing. It is, we can, as Gladys says, we can build it overnight again.
Yes.
Second line of defense because we have armed ourselves out of necessity.
Exactly.
We are not waging war against the Indian Union or against Delhi. We have armed ourselves from the early 90s till the early 90s. We were without arms. We were defenseless, and we were massacred left and right. So and where was the Indian army? Where was the Indian police to protect us in those days? We had to protect ourselves. So therefore, we armed ourselves, and this is the justification of our arming. And during our talks, impersonal, not official talks, but discussions with various high officials in Delhi, I feel that they understand our position. And but as a policy matter, they are going about it. But I think we can manage it. We have to be. So I tem khat lung tim nei ta cha lo ngai. Arms also surrender ball in a TV. Surrender ball kichom hoju because it has government license, government number ho, armory number ho hoju. We can surrender it because those are illegally acquired actives. So it is actually illegally. It is stolen from the government armory. Adang hoju ikila hoju. They have no proof. There's no number. There's no government number. So and it is imperative that we gain the confidence of Delhi, whoever may be in government there, whether it's BJP or anybody or any other opposition, coalition government comes out or whatever. It doesn't matter. Delhi is Delhi for us. We have to be in the good books of Delhi and show our cooperation. We are not fighting Delhi, and I believe everybody understands this. We are not fighting Delhi. In fact, we should be fighting under the Indian Union because we are fighting against people who are fighting against India. So we are the good heroes. Cowboy movie say like good hero, lang hi dan say ho. And I think Delhi understands it.
Yes.
We are not secessionists. We are not asking for breakup of the country. We were used by the British. I keep telling them to police. We were the policemen of that whole region. That's why we are so scattered. And the Indian government also can still use us now as the policemen of the whole area. They can, and we can swing this whole thing to our advantage. Of course, our target from now is that we are already separated, we are already partitioned from Manipur, and that cannot be changed. It is the reality on ground, and that saying Iowa, we have to enforce that.
Yes.
We have to enforce our separation of that. There's no compromise here, and peace and arrangements of safe passage and settlement of here and there can come only after the formal partition is given. Then on equal terms we can talk about it, and there's no point asking for other things like delimitation or that. We have passed that point. I wouldn't even talk about it. The moment we talk about these things, it means like we want to go back to Manipur. We can't go back to Manipur. And I keep saying it will take at least 3 generations for the two communities to come together. What we have faced in the May 3 apana itho also, the hate campaign, school gaya, hate campaign marching that cannot go away by shaking hands again. It will take at least 3 generations, and 3 generations you have to give us a separate administration. Our governor should treat us separately from Manipur, separate schemes, separate development, separate recruitment, separate whatever, education, hospitals. He should give us now. He has to accept the fact that we cannot go to Imphal anymore unless the framework of partition is given and a separate administration is given. Then on our own equal terms we will negotiate. That will come only afterwards. Peace, I keep saying peace is not something you can declare overnight. We declare peace, so you be at peace. Peace has to be built up piece by piece, brick by brick. And that can happen only when our partition is done, safety is done. And as I said, India gal kap hilo. It is for our own safety, and we will disarm ourselves only when we feel the security has been provided and we don't need the guns anymore. And that need for discarding our guns has to be built first. Only then we can completely disarm ourselves. Otherwise, we have seen in the past that in the 90s as well as now, 2023, that we have been victims, we have been defenseless, without arms, we have just been massacred. So until we feel secure, we will not throw down our defense systems. This is our stand. And of course, whatever arms were looted should be returned. This is and we should, in fact, encourage return of those guns if we have any. I feel we have told them we have already returned many of these guns. Maybe a few of them are still there. We will cooperate and return these guns. But otherwise, our defense systems will have to remain intact until you assure us our security by way of a separate administration. We cannot shift from this stand. It's ahead.
Tuin thudo abane ni chi beke rutin chelaya kan do nom choi hile madam BJP center BJP in charge Manipur Sambit Patra ahunga chun amani pi se Manipur integrity cannot be compromised aketin na hitia Manipur integrity ke thailo de hetia hoita phun ha na hung neya kinung le hin ahung sunga chu governor rule masang chana chu chi choi hiya hile e hoin Changeya Center BJP hi kinep na inei na laiwa hitia hi panila la jing thei diu ham a hi lo le president rule hum zo apana hi lamkai milin milal ho apana hi ga ke sei be kin han lang hi le tu chung MLA 10 MLA ho press release ong chui ga ve vin hi le lai chun corner khanin jang separate administration jang a ki mutahi na peace process ki tizing in chi choi hiya hi le center representative khanin hitia cho hung se hile ehon chalaya chu iti panila bewa ipcha chu ipi kinep nai nei na lai diu ham ti hi nangma lunggel da na nangma mu da nan sei ki thei di ham
kay lunggel da na, so nobody will give you just like that, right? Nobody will say, well, you cookies, oh, people suffer a lot and just take it. Nobody will say that. We have to take it from them. We have to be resilient in our demand. And we have to show the central government that if you are stubborn, our fight will be stronger. Tiana, a strength pato, imusakha, yadinga. Such a good point. Like we are totally separated. And then this separation is not done by us. It is done by Environ and government, which is also BJP. So a center BJP tun abang hungyen lele mo again di himoy so it's obvious because center is BJP and the state is also BJP, so they will say that. That is what he is sent to say. If he said the opposite, I will be surprised that he will be in the party. Whatever he said and done, that is what his duty is to say that. But that doesn't change any stand of us. We have to stand strong. We have to guard our borders. We have to guard our buffer zone. Kilamang in Kilamang Lole, it is there. We have to guard it. And then we have to guard our safety. Central government king at so may talho kanezi kuhi, we are not protected. If the central forces are protecting and if we feel safe, you think our young boys will like to, give their precious time in guarding there? It is the failure of the central government, the state government, that force us to have our own troops to safeguard our life. To BJP in a center in gen law lele, ako in banggen lele, that is not important for me at all, really. It's just another sound for me. For me, the most important thing is we have to stand firm in our demand. No matter what tribes we are, isunga niyaw tata ikiboy na lele. Political demand standpoint ka stand deal, and we have to pressurize them. You see, when we met some of the top leader in the BJP and in the RSS, amaw na again subangahem. Before I say that, I want to highlight that we are really in a good stand right now. Position ni ahoy ito. As it to Mayte in ST di man abol lela loting talaw mo. Good news ungyan masangka. Second ada three narratives ang kahung pat untin daw lele daw low. And the third thing is they use violence, thinking that tilzaw si kipihan lang bangkimin ki support le kal khatvela so kukite hi sizing din kahiuti na sana lagyan way so may tehin mo salpak tehon. But even in using force also zaw away so ihat so ihat now ka in na maumten de lalahet di way so hat hiu so bang ma amaw tu ni sana advantage we thawo phaya pat no mang ti law amaw hin bang ma achieve law so you have to know that very 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 carefully. We're not weak. We're not defeated. We don't have that spirit. Zizi ka so BJP in Banggenin, tentara ako in Banggenin, a state ako in Banggen lele. We the Kukizo, our demand has to be until we are separated from the Meitei. Until we have our own administration, we are not going to keep quiet. Again. And then they said, one thing they said is the population of Atom Taloy. Your population is very less. So I told them that means the lesser the population, it will wipe them out. TVL counter attack ball nga So igam la hita, igam ki umta, igam ki biang zauta, nekle sakle kik do del thay, asi in apa in hele mo. So we're not only surviving, we're thriving back now, which the center knows about it. So don't get so intimidated by what the center say. Tule amasa ngale midang le hungki dingay so. But it's okay. That is how they are in the political parties to say such things. But whenever anybody come, we have to have a very strong negotiator. You say this is what we say. Right. RSS leader they call us, and then we say when they call, we cannot say no. They call us. We say we'll just go and hear what they say. So the whole point of that was like trying to put some Meitei and trying to put some Kuki together, somehow start some kind of dialogue. But we say when it comes to political dialogue, we are not the right people. We have our MLAs, we have our SU, we have our CSOs, and we are not the right people. If that is what your intention, there is nothing we can go forward. So they try to make us understand on all these things, but we say no. So my point is, as long as we all of us are saying no to peace dialogue, they cannot pull us to talk about that. Zizi kaka, Delhi lamale I position no tulay, very, very good. And then also the previous question that you asked to sir about the rally umding tule tarik hata umding aiso. President rule in zihoka apal law ti khom law and ibolu that it's our constitutional right to go and protest peacefully. So we're gonna do that again. One protest cancel may zingale ikili yung law dio. Am I making sense? Like, why was the press, conference call off? Why was a protest call off? So one press conference call off. So we will do next time again, and then one peace rally call off. Will come back stronger. More. Am I making clear? So it doesn't matter what the center say. It doesn't matter who the BJP representative. And also for us, the cookies, it doesn't matter whether Congress come or BJP come. Doesn't matter. Our standpoint is Meitei. Full stop. Is it clear?
To in to do abana ni chebe pai kinutin pu WR kan do num che hi le chilaya hi governor in jang older an so tain chi older a chu illegal arms imazo si hi direct submitting akitin deadline ho jang akipin so zo si hi arm zo si hi aki submit ta hi le chi hi force peace kitipin chu dialogue imacha jang ki pan nai lo process progress hi umbe se nai lo win kamuin na ga seidinga chu nang ho zo sin MLA ho kisanin e ho su group ho na pi do hin su group ho hi tuni changya su extension achil ha thei nai lo zia hi center tong tok sanga nei puvin ama sa chun ke ja chi ho ga kal sung win am ho jang hi ahung do langwa press conference an cancel kit uvin alol hing zo lo be sen omin chi chui hi ale tu chunga governor in illegal arms so imazo si hi gang chala submit dinga order and so hi force peace hungi talo diam elo le chalai ka chu negotiation ni macham lo direct force peace implement and borgo hi talo ding ham ti hi mipi lunggel hi ta na mipi opinion hi ta nang lunggel pi ham nan sei thei diam.
In a philosophical plane aga sailing, a conflict is not determined by the arms. Missile airplane you still fight on the ground. Army people will fight with guns and swords and knives or whatever they have. Sticks and stones armament peace this is not peace. As long as we stand our ground for to protect our hurt and homes, our family, our women and children, everything, we have to protect them from the danger from another community who's baying for our blood and annihilation every day. That will keep us strong. Actually, we keep saying that it is a necessity for us. And another thing, Governor Pahe he wants to make his mark. We should cooperate with him and help him in establishing himself. At least he is better than a Meitei government there. Meitei government Birien Zinkal at least that will not be there anymore. India lang because of the official version is always the official version, is the accepted version. So it is good for us, as Gladys says, that governor rule is an advantage for us, better than where we were before. Army it may not be so necessary anymore, but we have to be always armed, and I am sure we will be, because it is a necessity. Licensed guns or and so it is a drama. We have to be on the moral high ground.
Yes.
That their moral high ground was governor to cooperation at least till the time he doesn't become totally antagonistic against us, which I doubt he will be. He's a governor for everybody. He's not a Meitei. He's a Delhi government. His agenda is something else. It's not about cheering us from the valley, from Manipur or whatever, which the Meiteis keep shouting. So he is a different institution. So it is good for us that we should cooperate with him and stay on the moral high ground, but stand firm on our demand and our principles that we are separated. We are not demanding separation. We are already separated. We are demanding an official stamp, official recognition of that separation. Like Nupani separate him and divorce so divorce letters so we should wait for that.
Yes.
It will come. If not today, it will come tomorrow. We have to have patience. And there are a lot of there are many ways of establishing continuing our demands and our struggle through non-violent non-cooperation, civil disobedience, there's so many things. Those right now, I think it is not the right time now, unless some situation arises, then we can use those things. There are many things. It is not a means of struggle. There are many ways we can do it. And I'm sure we have very good leaders back home, and they're all doing a good job, whoever they may be, in Churachandpur side or in Kamupi side. And I know the hardships they all go through, and everybody everywhere is trying their bit to contribute whatever they can in terms of kind and in money or whatever we are doing. And we keep saying Ikitopo. It is, I think nobody is more united than we are, from whatever I see. There will always be the bad apple here and there, but let us not be guided by the bad apple. See the bigger picture. We are a strong and united people. This is what I want to encourage everybody. Don't lose heart. We will get what we want.
Yes.
Thu ka za dan do ba le chlai na madam ga saiding a chu mi pi opinion he ga ve vin hi le tu ka la di hi aki ho na pinu public opinion ka ti he not my opinion aki ho na pinu hi ho hi president rule hungu ma hi le nu pi ho lo le inu mei ho hi ho nam nu mei ho zo hi front line a hung pong ding gan thei ha san na thu kit diu hi ti hi mi tam pi lung sunga ki chat na o ma hi na operation hung ki bol jang le am ho zo hi front line a hung ding diu ha san na tam pi hung ki de ki tin lai ho hi nang ma ngai da ni pi ham chlai ka jang chu tham hat summary nan bo thei di ham
and so operation abodo le gamine len khula thil koi na di le he thi me ti ngol ken jilam pangkha chu pet in a pet zing leo le a mood ozo le to a chat by kati is okay so le ikam kang vaya pat endless hita hula le he me ke gel dana sumo zekha pil taka itoy hunay so pil taka itoy hun hintin azole ew holoy hi behem proactive ki hilaw le he me til khat ahung ki ngak in tin ahung phale ki react ai so zikha bol sok lo wat tu le president rule ti hi bang tigola hung toy dinga hiwem bang tigola lung hung gel dinga hiwem meite la ka abol le so ela makabol di way so zikha so ahidi hi mai so le he thema zi a toy dan dung zuyo hi bang tigola e le e in hi ki sup tu di hem le he ka gen dan chu e hon phata in ki vet tu ama ho atoy masanga le zi ilaki sup ilaki koitub dinga hiu ilek iki et call di ti apan ilag le ahung phat le nui hiu in welcome le when what will they find it ke gel dana sumo azole nu pi te le frontline kuti army te to banghem vakin naka meite te gola khutsal batuna hunglut ti ho khabol sanga hung wa hi le hungun thingpi hung donun namaskar bangbola hung la hi wem mo ji ka khu en la hi hu tia hoi taka et sakle hen kolte lung thim chu he thak lo wei chu kinaka ki ko ki bang hi le amao meite nu mei gol hung ki sok di hin tin ji sanga chu tu le in lama khan hoi takin meeting ala nei wandang zeti gol hi PR hi le chu zo hi a hi ding hi ma hi hen ji ho ahung umma hin bang tin e yolam hi ilaki en kol zo di mu ti lam pang khan pan kila zo le ka u ta mo vagata amawa hung lu tai la hung lu thei pon law kanaw pang te la mangwi amin adik taka email ule he dik law pio la samu baktan nun dang hoi takin bakit chei nang Korean style dewin umleo chino BMS hung hi sakin tino that's very easy I don't think that's the thing to be worried and then nu pite ho kha a welcome zokin ai lo I point again zo khan ki zo hena kinak lama amao do da lama khan ki panda hendang and then having said that iboy na hui ew holo hi mo mun khata iboy le khanglai le boyjing nupi le boyjing le khasim le boyjing low volte le boyjing ji kha hi da hendang new khat le khasim te mong kha la le khasim na hui meite ga la do na wai ti in le khasim lam bang kha special in ki encourage han lang nu te lam le in etkol na lam han ki encourage han lang azit so if you look at the whole thing why did all this started only one line again so meite are jealous of Kukizo success aito that's the whole thing they're jealous of our education we have more more work people in the government in central government we have even people in Amy Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha lena same atama iso ale forces a iet kita hile meite la kale even Manipur laka iet a hile DGP ho khale o hakitiang sukzeng hi so ale IS ho la amount adel phalaway so zibana private sector lama enlet le air hostess ti ho bang Amy kitiang sukzeng ai so ale retail shop na same ho kule so we have such a quality that we actually are leading ahead of them. So if you look at its sheer jealousy, gamla amaw sa kinailen zo baghem in every sector kha ihung mason taklo zi ko kha ipathian ho naw na san ho khale amaw sa kha big in itilela amaw to itele ya chu mega ngon hizeng mo even in fashion even in talking communicating in other languages and we're doing so well. So this jealousy that they have is the result of this violence hi thawai so akutin even ST quota namniam I quota na san hungdo I thei kiti chin chu ngai to tang ikinei hoilo pen la kale STZ neu khat government in ava protection na ST na san hung jealous thei kiti so meite te nei jealous dan so mo so my point is nu te ho kha la cha te kha le kha sim sakun la next generation amau gin chak khela double triple officer isok diu number 2 igam nei te hausate ai lo le low nei te ti ho hin if you do not sell your land your plot to unknown people how can they buy it the government will not force you ki chalpak te zokun hung ti thei lawai chu they cannot force agam ne I hi izok na te kha ichit thei di and then signature is sign lawa kha igam min khale mo I don't know the story but tui thadam ma hi lole matadam ma hi lole abang bang dam chu hilele khuga hung ki ti thei na dinga chu imilenten asoya la kayo lawo chu ei sak thei lo di wei chu hinga dam singa dam chivu dam ai lo chivu park katina ziti gola net recreational park ho chu le pakhatin iba sign lo le chu ei hung sak thei lo di wei chu I bol sao chu what's gone is gone what's past is past tu hi future hi I signature I kai ma wele thum vei li vei ilung I gel diu khadje I sign pha to hele iba protest a hele ei kha dan lawa anti law a ki so kai chu migi lo ki so kai chu I sign ma wa hi tu hi document mong hin thil mong hi lele jikha tu apathi nu te din mun na hung gen na to kitona nu mei ka hi na zala hi kapuk na atamatam tin I want our people, big or small, before we take even a smallest decision, let's observe and see, is it leading to selling my rights as ting tang mi? Di kamo, ikigel di way so. Even our representatives, even our hausate, even our, our rental fixed organization, whatever it may be, is this leading to me losing my rights? As a cookie zo mo zizi ka kha gam eya izok lo le cho thei lo diu I sign lo le amount amin le pe thei lo diu ti kha that's what I really want to highlight today
tuin tudo aban ani chi pai ki rutin chelaya kan do nom chu to hi topic ga khel jamutin chelaya kan do nom chu pu wr iga ve vin hi le chi separate administration hindiman masapin formal ta lekha hinjia press release in bola hindiman masapin hi MLA ho hin tuni changya hi su group backbone dingjing na layo hin su wang hi press release ai lo le macha ki mukha hin tu chunga eho MLA 10 MLA ho in dlaya press release abol pinu wachun aning corner kha cha jang hin akimu hin na ga saidinga chu chi press release chun separate administration chi ke ho adinga only peace solution hi ati kit tapovin chlai hin slightly change hong hi kin na chi chung changa hin nang in jang representative ni ta MLA ni ta na ne MLA ni chunga general secretary nei na line chi press release chung chang hi tham khat hil chen nan bo thei diam
so na say as KPA we have already MLA on press release about masangwa ni khat masanga chu KPA release on kun bolowen chachun we have clearly mentioned that we reaffirm our resolution for a separate administration in clear cut terms KPA wangchun announce ko bolowen now the question to hil MLA 7 ho hin why are they changing the language will negotiated political settlement even that remains the same. This is negotiated political settlement. I think it amounts to separate administration of a political settlement. What is it? It is. I think it is a tactical move because the new governor has come and just to have some kind of a negotiation first. Negotiation to at least we can get the process moving to the situation even is going to take a long time. Forum the only forum in Su talks to him. To understand the Su talks to an woman. I think Emily Hodson Su talks to Angansi in informal writing. Back to Su talks to. The Su is the representative. I think Emily Hoss is in. They need to give us a statement. The government so they have to state their position, their political position. So, my personal position here, it is just and I was to the Imphal Assembly. Their demand is still there, but within the, I mean, they're still there as an MLA of that Manipur Assembly, Teen Hanahu. So they are just couching their language in a different, very tactical manner. Tidana tilhi positive langa ilale positive ichu. Ahilo langa ilale hin. I think it makes no difference. Negotiated political settlement iti ale. What else can it be except for a separation of administration? It cannot be anything else. But maybe nothing just change the language. It's the same thing. And they're still with the discussion which is still on the table. That has not changed. They have not withdrawn from there. So I think we should not read too much into it. It is just a strategic language. MLA we have to understand. Then one point, in addition to the question, Gladys in the one question we keep being confronted is your land is too small for a separate state, or your population is too less. So I have faced this question. You are too small. How can you expect this? Then I asked them, what is the population of Sikkim? Sikkim population is only 4 lakh something. And look at area-wise even. And most of it is uninhabitable. Himalaya, snowbound mountain half the year. Not only that, look at Goa, Daman and Diu. Go look at Pondicherry. You are like overlapping area. What about Goa? You have Goa, you have Daman, you have Diu. It's still one state. And look at Pondicherry. Pondicherry, some districts are in Kerala of Pondicherry.
Yeah, exactly.
It is all over in Tamil Nadu. Solution. And I tell them, you want to solve a solution, you look for the solution. Then you will find the solution. You'll find 100 points. If you don't want to solve the problem and you look for problems, you will have problems. But if you look for solution, you will find solution. So that is not an issue. Population area is not an issue. Even technically, constitutional wise, it does not specify that a state should be this much or that much. It does not say. You look at the biggest state, UP, and you look at the smallest state, Sikkim also. I mean, there's still one state. So there's no parameters or prescription for the size of a state or the size of the population. So this is not an argument. If somebody raises this issue, again, just tell him to shut up. That is all. Then Governor
Kinjang Edison ka bolmo minna ahung ki mudan chu appoint kan do na cha chu hiti hin masanga chu political solution in the form of essays only way for peace akitin director elaborate a bol wa mai hete mizo si mudinga bol jing keu hin na akhutia hele tu chunga hi thamkhat changes language elo le wording hung ki khial ta cho chi wording hung ki khial pin hin mi pi tampi asul lungdaye elo le asul hasame ti tabanga hi ahung ta chu chilai ka chu thamkhat nan sei di ham ka ti chu hin
ju he ji sei ning ang ke ye chu ka dao hin na ki ho na wa yong ka dao hin drafting ang ka dao hin. What is the real reason chu ka pon to aken ka lan ka sei to it must be this. I mean, they are under pressure under the circumstances. New governor governor kampa pha ho please tone down your this that ti wa no, it's a strategy, but on the ground, MIPIN heading MLAs are still behind the SU talks. And what is the SU talks? The SU talks is for a separate administration. That is still there. Unless MLA has SU talks they are still supporting and endorsing the talks with the SU group of people, along with all the civil societies. They have given their signatories to the endorsement. The other things are just football. So back pass ball. Back pass ball. Opposition it is a strategy. So we should understand these things.
like at so medam nangin and nan hil chin be thei diam say nom na name opinion ngai dan na name.
I think our society need a lot of communication. Kihet to na hipoy mo kasama. Ikihet to lawahi we are lost in the translation mo. To iyan banga so what we are doing right now is also helping in that kind of gap, bridging the gap in communication gap kamo. Zika kegel dana. So I think all of us are standing in one ground when it comes to separate administration. There is no doubt about it. And then nipite ho hile ahead team lo now ho hitigola he media through ahem ahirole public gathering through MI bangkat gen chien ngaya iso. Aku tilawa hile ki hetu lawa kikinak zing thaye iso. So I think very much our MLAs are in the same page with the Sue and other in our political demand. There's no wavering in that. That's my observation. Having said that, the way the center government is approaching us is very interesting. I want to highlight that. Katina so amasanga ka neglect a bolon tin amasanga ka ki hoping iholele ki muzaula wai so tuhi they're trying various means. They call cookies of council to Delhi, and then through one ex-MP of BJP from Arunachal, they're trying to reach us out in Delhi intellectual group there, and then through some Meitei who are the Meitei kind of learned person in Delhi, through the Meitei Ima also, somehow they're trying to reach us out. And then like that, atum tuma hi elku kite hi attention hi a hallway. So, and the whole purpose is, for me, it's the same. That somehow they will find a forum or an organization or a group of people, at least who will agree to sit together with some Meitei and start some kind of dialogue so that they will blow that into bigger picture that, hey, let's do it like Neuta Akipan ka. They want to let the ball roll bigger and bigger, and that is their whole purpose. Minyaw khat kibak mupia zizaw pale gawhatia alenzo atamzo kowa tiaka. They try to fool us, so we have to be very careful. Whichever way, whoever is reaching us out, they all are connected. They all are well interconnected network. Ahintin, it doesn't have to be a call like political dialogue. So come for that function, come for that meeting, come for that. But everywhere they are planting people. We have to be really, really careful. Ako tilaway le, niyaw information kahungla dokintino, and they'll pitch each other against us. Tilaw dana tu MLA sir in abak gentien. Bangso ingay to ahile adika iso. It's just because of one word which changed a little bit doesn't mean that they are against us. Mo ziho bangso again ziho bangso center le ama hoin ahead iso kuki te hi tilneu cha hile ibak spa ka hile tilien tak hi aso hen kinazing ka hi. So we have to be very careful with that. So I believe in the few months down the line also they'll try and reach us out, and they'll try and like tuzo goma tuzo ahung tuzo trading te we always a whole life so we have whoever we meet, whoever we talk, our stand has to be total separation from Meitei. We're not against the country. We want to work closer to central government. That is the reason why we are asking even UT with our own legislature. UT iti pal full-fledged state hilawin in center to kapan khom udzi ko nauto taki deal udzi ko zihoy le ka dimano hi. We are not against the honasan ka igen kit nga so a ho quality hi gen kit le repeat kit hi kining tel, and also we want everything instant boom teasing the say to say hitasula say kit the ipiham na. So that's not how it is. We have to keep telling our narratives. We have to keep producing our documents and facts and all those things. We have to have a center command and work the way Meitei are. We have to really like work together as one nation, as one united Also, two state about go. Whenever a question is asked like that, we have to find the answer. Like Sir rightly said, that population size, land size doesn't dictate to have our own administration. And based on security and safety of our life, we can continue demand that. And then igam min meitei min khale ten thading ay so Susan pur bang idoy lawa hile ay lamin signboard in zik lawin chep kek lele, as long as it is in government record, you cannot bypass that. So let's attack the root of that. So if Ceylon can become Sri Lanka, if Calcutta can become Kolkata, ti daw da naka example ho ka ihol do wo original min le Trivandrum ho le attend wa hile zika ipoint ho ka study ibola. Whenever such kind of question is thrown to us, hey, even Suruchanpur itself is the time to change back to the original name ti ho ka. Zo ka en ifai zo so a right pen a fight ibola wa signboard mi khatina bakta ka chema ibak check ka adang khat iwa bel ti ho khat so even if you have to send a parcel, you have to still use that pin code, you have to still use that Suruchanpur a route apat kai do ding dan ho ka. That will also help us in our self-governing ourselves ti ho zo ho ka ji a real issue pen kha kingai hok zo hen lang ti niau cha anik nek ho kha so we can always just avoid such kind of nonsense discussion mo.
Tuin tu do abana ni che pai kinutin laya kan do num chu iga ve vin hi le tu chunga la hen pu w kan do num che le tu chunga la hi tu chung president rule hum zo wa he na sata am so hi hung ki chomei tan chalaya mai le statement mai le militant outfit ho thu sei pin hi ku ki tein chi separate administration demand hi anga ataka wa elo le anung chon taka wa chi mai thal hi ka surrender loading he ki ho hi chin ichan ge malam hin ko hi elo le eho mai le te le ku ki te ki ka hi ichan ge an su set be theidem ti hi nang ipiti nang ma personal opinion ipiti na muam tiang nan sei ki theidem
separate administration demand ebol lo he mele ho kin hilo which is they have already done what they have to do. They have already divided the state. They have already partitioned the state. So it is not a question of demanding it. It is already separated. And they're just looking for excuses to hang on to the guns that they have stolen. So a patron pao birin lo umtalo sa hul hailele mention hoya chidiu. They have to obey to. That's what I'm saying. To a moral ground ibolowa at least show ding be ma temkhat line gigolowa here. This is the guns we have recovered. Ki wa moral high ground ipiwa hele mele ho say di umtalo this. Finally, mele ho to yong ikihunga. We have to convince them that it is a futile conflict you are promoting. You have to accept the reality on the ground, and in fact, you yourself should demand separate administration now. It is time for you to demand separate administration for peace to prevail. We have to talk to them and ask them, you please come to your senses. We have to, in fact, turn the table on them. You should ask for separate administration.
Yes.
Then we will have two separate administrations, two different budgets. Instead of sharing something and fighting over it, you have two different plates. We'll eat separately and we both prosper. Economy will improve. We have to put sense into them. At least there are people who have senses, and they are also hinting now that there are many people who have agreed or come to their senses that there's no other solution. Militia ho, Mingol ho, third grade, fourth grade ho, who we cannot be determined by them. We will say this and that. Let them say what and we don't have to react to that. Let the governor react to that. We don't have to react to that. Okay.
Tuin tu do acai na langan ni mano tautin acai na dinga nan ni hona chi ขัดไปพัดนั่นกิพิหนินตินเจลายกันเซนมจูตุจุงเกจจีน governor ท่าอเจกุมารบาลียกิติกังปูปีอากาวิจิตนาจูเจลายเห็น memorandum จังสมิธบอลกินอวินนะเจลาย memorandum จงจังฮีนังนิมูดานานะเกจซีฮีอิจันเกียหงมาจาร์เทียไอโลเลตุลาดียังฮีกาบเลเกจซีฮีเรลี่กิกันสลาปันินอโมนุทูเฮกิจัดโอเบเซตปนแพลตฟอร์มจังคอยมันอันมังสกิตเฮวินทูกะซาดันตัวบาเลจิงอาโคลัมกะลังไอมีติงอันไหนดิวงหินอะไรจิจงจังจี memorandum อภิจงจังวะหินดังจังทิลตัมปีทุมนะอันไหนวินเจลายจังหินเกยมูดานิน direct in SA demand kamu do kin hin na memorandum chu ga sim the hi nang ni jang na nei hon ding ka ta sangin chi chung chang ke je chi memorandum chung chang hi seinom elo le hil chin mom na nei hon le representative hi on hi jang na chun nang ni personal opinion hi to hi matter hi in chi ja chu nang ni nan hil chin the on diham chi memorandum chung chang
yes it see form here wa delhi hangwa chu they came to my house, we had a lunch together, we had very close personal talk, and they're all good people. And in fact, they need all our backup, all our support, everybody's support, because without everybody's support, so firstly, they are a new organization, they still have to find their feet. And I think this is a negative attitude. Let us. They have all the best intentions for the whole community, all our people. Let us give them a chance. Let them. I mean, to say memorandum, I have not read it. So I can't comment on that. But whatever it is, I think we should, in a positive light, I'm sure it is with the best of intention. EP is
honestly, I also have not seen those memorandum as it so again ma bangat so kala damlozi ka follow up zolo in kamula we honestly I can't comment on that. At the same time we have to see ourselves in how people are viewing us. Katina so outside the migen ho ko ihet ahile. Kukitate ho hi a group zo si hile active zo hi lung khamu mahiu ati we so. Like ilapok pa in song len so song sana tek lo de kita banga hamo. Like even Delhi cookie zo numei te mai hinle Delhi copy hi ki thong sak zo we so numei women Delhi mai ale mo iti go la kha cookie zo council ten a thong sak zo lo mun area ala talele tu hile keso Delhi le cookie zo women ten rally protest hung ki dingai chu ai le midang outsider te again da na so pakhat lam te neu khada active zo lo le khat hung ki pandok ki to hen a khoi hi group ze banga hi hang san tak taki khuti nei the hem te hi elung khamoi chu media lam je nga hi de khoi tak takai mai hung ki ko khomin tinu ki gen thei thawai chu mo je kha ei le ei ki pha ta hi le azong khal tabang bangma achieve lo tabanga hi ikimu wa ngo hi walang khalam ten ay gen le zani ma group hum ki form mai le bahem home ministry in causing amawin how do they get access to that kind of opportunity 80 thawai so ai bang so avati hen again do le umbek lo le itimai thai i iplel mai thai mo ile midang ten again da zani mai ki form jing le bang ji ka MHA ni to ka important apia meeting a ball pit him ti hole ki tai so le ha theme. And also if the MHA is saying hey I don't think it is the right way to hold protest at the moment or to hold press conference at the moment, we can't be all the time protesting each and everything. More it's good that if we don't have all those things also, so that we have to have our channel open to the central government also. And then amaw na hung ball thay law ta ko neo khat risky dewa umay lele a group dang te ne ki ball ki the so zizi ka again gola ku kyu zo council hung ki form hile nang le ke support na poi moi chu ke le na support na ka poi mo TC network tele ni pite support na poi mo ziti go la ka cookie zone council te hile abol zo si wa hile I support diu iki het to diu abol ke na niau cham le ti deu dan hin ki bol deu le a hoi de o ti a hi iki ho to di we chu una vek ki hi e chu family khat vek ki hi e chu zikha hin tin ti gala eta abol khil na be be I chang we hi le bang chu kuma abol dik ding ki lo hi le I ball khil na wale I always say like ball lo sanga ball khil le a hoi zoi kati go we all are doing something or the other in our own capacity and as long as we support each other we will get what political fight khale ahung fulfill ni hum dingai so zizika I think they're doing very good and they're trying their best in whatever strength they have and they need our support and if you can send us that memorandum we will study and we can get back to you for the next talk.
Okay. Tuni khwa TC network Seigilkhomna ihin ki hopiu pu WR Hangsing Cookie People Alliance General Secretary achainen ama chunga jang ki pathu ka hin chen avelin abanle P Gladys Vipe Hunjan Cookie jo women social activist akitijingin ama ni hi tokso ha jang mundang danga English channel tokso aha zawhon walje hi eho tokso jang hi eho local language dialect jang be se on lowa tunia English to pau mix up hai hung ki chai jing we hin tuni kho TC network Seigilkhomna result se avelin na chung chewa ki pathu ka hin se